Hi, welcome to my course, Start Here, Church Bulletins in Affinity Publisher. In this course, I'm going to teach you how to create a visually pleasing parish bulletin in Affinity Publisher. I'm a graphic designer and I have spent nearly 8 years as a church communicator serving a large parish in my diocese. This course will consist of 5 videos, each covering a different part of the process. By the end of this course, you'll have a polished bulletin ready to share with your parish. Microsoft Publisher has long been the primary tool for creating bulletins and other materials in many parishes. Outside of church communications, it has held a relatively small share of the desktop publishing market, and Microsoft has announced it will be discontinued in October of 2026. Many parishes are searching for a reliable replacement to continue producing their publications. Affinity Publisher is a powerful desktop publishing tool capable of producing the same kinds of documents you are familiar with in Microsoft Publisher, your bulletins, your flyers, and newsletters. But it also offers advanced features for more complex layouts if you want to learn that. Canva, which many of you already use, owns Affinity, and it now provides Affinity Publisher free to nonprofits and schools, but it also remains affordable for other users as well. Before we get started, you're going to need access to Affinity Publisher. You're also going to need to have your parish logos, your photos, colors, any brand-specific typefaces you might have. And then you'll also want to have some written content to insert, such as event information or your pastoral letters. Affinity Publisher for nonprofits is accessed through your Canva account for nonprofits. If you already have Canva through your parish, you'll just need to apply for access to the Affinity software, and then once approved, you will be able to download the software and start working. If you don't already have Canva for nonprofits, you will need to apply for it using your organization's tax ID that shows that you are indeed an eligible nonprofit. If you don't know what that form is, please speak with your pastor or your business manager for more information. If you need to apply, you'll need to go to this site, Canva for Nonprofits, and you will click this purple button and you will follow the prompts there. In this first lesson, I will show you what we are building, and then we are going to go over the basics of the workspace. I'll explain the most common tools, but Affinity, again, is a powerful tool that is capable of a lot more than I'm going to be able to cover in this mini course. If you are already comfortable with the workspace and tools, feel free to jump ahead to the second video in this series. All right, let's get started. Before we jump in, I want to give you a quick look at the new Affinity 3.0 interface. Affinity recently merged Photo, Designer, and Publisher into one app, so if yours looks a little different than mine, that's totally fine. Here's the new workspace. It might look a bit cleaner and more monochromatic, but the layout is almost identical. Most tools are right where you'd expect them. They just have updated icons and a slightly refined look. If you're using the new version, make sure you're in the layout persona, now known as Studios. That's where all your publishing tools live. Otherwise, everything we cover will work about the same. I hope to update this course in the future using the latest version of Affinity. For now, I have added a few notes as I go over the workspace where there is some variation between the versions. But for now, let's get started with Affinity version 2. Here we are in Affinity Publisher, and we're going to begin by discussing the Tools panel located here on the left side of the screen. Our first tool will be the Move tool, which is this little black arrow, and this is your selection tool. It allows you to click on an object and move it to another place or give it some precision, as well as text boxes anything you might need to move around your screen. The second tool we're going to discuss today is called the text frame tool, and that is this tool with the white box and the letter T. We will just create our box, whatever size we want, because we can always readjust it later. And this is where you may type your words. Hello world. The next tool we're going to look at is called the table tool, which is this little orange box, and it allows you to create tables very quickly. It automatically will default to a 2-column and as many rows as you drag down. To adjust the size of the table, you can either just, you can drag it like so, or drag it down and make the boxes bigger once it's first established. We can remove rows by clicking the little double arrow icon here in the corner, and we can change it from 11 rows. Let's say we only want 5, hit enter, and now you have 5 rows. Same thing for your columns. You hit your double arrows, and we can adjust this. We're going to also make it 5. So now you have this beautiful table of 5 rows, 5 columns. We can adjust the size of that simply by dragging it a little bit, formatting it. You just got to play around with it, get it to how you need it. Additionally, the table tool works much like an Excel document would, where you can just type in the cells, click on each individual cell, and enter the data that you need for your table. The next tool I want to show you is called the pen tool. Now, the pen tool is a more advanced tool. However, what we're going to use it for is creating lines. And so what you'll do is you'll want to click a point, hold your shift to get it straight, and click another low point. There you go, like that. Now, to finalize your line, you're going to want to click out of this tool. So I suggest clicking back to their move tool, just clicking off of it so that it's no longer selected. And what this does is it'll finalize the line as a line. And the reason we do that is because if you don't do that, let me show you. You'll put another point down, you'll try to click away, and oh, hello, there's an object. So to finish an object, you have to close the object, essentially, which is how we make custom objects. That's a bit more advanced, so we're not going to get into a lot of detail with that, but I want you to understand what this tool is capable of. In our case, again, though, lines is what we would use this for primarily, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that object. I'm going to show you again real quick. So click a spot, hold your shift to keep it straight, click another spot, click a different tool, and click off. Now we have this nice little line. We can click it and move it around like we would any other object. This also works for diagonal lines, so we can do a diagonal, hold your shift, and it'll give you a perfect 45-degree angle. The next tool is actually a set of tools that I want to show you, and I refer to this as the shape tool, which will be this little rectangle right here on the left side. But depending on which one you have selected, it'll be labeled a little bit differently. As you can see, there's many different options here. Rectangle, ellipse, anything you want, even fun little call-out buttons. And all you have to do is click and drag, and you've got your shape. So let's make another shape. Let's make a circle for you. As you can see, it will make a oval shape, but if you hold your shift, you can get a perfect circle. To access those different shapes, you want to click this little tiny triangle here in the corner. That little corner indicates that there are additional options within that tool. So we're going to click it, And we're going to go down to this QR code tool. You do the same thing with this. You click and you drag it. And we now have this nice little QR code. What's great about this feature is that we are able to tell the QR code where to go. So up here in above your workspace, this area is known as the context tool bar, and it changes based on what tool you have selected to give you additional controls. In the case of this QR code, we are able to customize where this URL links. It defaults to Affinity's website, but we just click it, change it to whatever we want. So let's just say we wanted to make this go to google.com. So now it will be google.com once you hit OK. So the QR code is now google.com. I'm going to click on this again so that you can see that there are additional different types of media where you can link this QR code. You can look through these, experiment with them, and see what makes sense in your use case context. In most cases, that's going to be a URL or a phone number type of use case. Down here, we're going to go to our second page, and we're going to discuss the picture frame tools. And your picture frame tools are right here, your rectangular one and your circular one. And so all you do, same thing, click and drag just like any other shape. So we're going to go ahead and make that one, and click and drag for our circle. Now, to place a photo or image inside this picture frame, what we're going to do is you're going to go to File at the very top of your screen. You're going to go to Place, and we're going to go ahead and place this picture of a church right there. And I think on this one we will do the same thing, File, Place, but we'll give it a different image so we can see the difference. All right, so here's two generic photos that we might see in our bulletin. And you might see that the way it's cropped is a little bit odd. It will default a cropped position for you, and if you like it, great. If not, we want to adjust it. It'll give you this slider here at the bottom, which can, you can make it bigger, you can make it, or bigger, you can make it smaller, like that. But the positioning is still a little funky. So what you would do is you would go into the middle, and you'll see this nice little arrow thingy. Oh, you'll see an arrow, and we click it and reposition our image like that. Let's do it again over here with the circular one. We're going to click on our shape with the shape tool or the picture frame tool selected, and let's make this one a little bit bigger and then reposition it to make it look a little more artistic. And there we go, we've got our little church spires. The next tool we're going to discuss is the color picker tool, which is this little turkey baster tool over on the left side of your screen. Before we select that tool, we first want to select the object that we are going to change. So first, click your move tool, your selection tool, and we're going to select this little blue circle right here so that we can make it this pink color. So now that it is selected, we can select our little turkey baster, and we're going to hover over this circle and click. And as you see, the blue circle is now a red circle. Now the next tools we're going to discuss, I'm going to discuss together, and they are your view tool, which is this little hand over here, and the zoom tool, which is this little magnifying glass. First, I'm going to click on the magnifying glass, and we're going to click to zoom in, and to zoom out, we hold down the Option key, I believe it is the Alt key on a Windows machine, and zoom out. So you can zoom in or hold the toggle key to zoom out when you click. Now we're going to zoom in for the next demonstration for the view tool, which is this hand. And what it does is that when you cannot see the entirety of your document, you can use this to just kind of move around the screen without trying to get any objects in the way. So you wouldn't accidentally select an object. Although we didn't cover every tool located in the tool panel section, those are the main tools that you will need for building a beautiful bulletin. The next thing I want to mention is the Persona toolbar located at the top left of your screen. There you will see what's called the Persona toolbar. Those three little icons, the orange, blue, and purple, will let you switch between the different modes or personas depending on what you want to do. You'll usually stay in the default one, which is the publisher persona that we are currently in, and the other two are Designer and Photo, which lets you access tools from Affinity Designer and Affinity Photo right inside of Publisher without going into those other tools. You have to have those tools installed in order to utilize that feature, and if you downloaded the entire suite, you can do that. For this course, we'll stick with the Publisher persona, which gives you everything you need for a layout and text. Just to the right of the Persona toolbar is your regular toolbar, and over here, the key things you want to know is, first, the toggle preview mode, which is this little windshield wiper icon here at the top. And when you toggle it off, it lets you see the document without all of the guides and grids and text box boundaries. While working, I do recommend having the preview modes turned off, as it's just easier to see and position things. Another thing we should know up here is this snapping tool. I like to have the snapping tool on because it's useful for aligning elements in a nice, clean way. If you have difficult positioning something to where you absolutely need it, go ahead and turn it off. But most of the time, I'd say keep it on. You'll also find some arrangement tools, which are grayed out currently because we don't have anything selected. So if I select something now, those are all highlighted for us to do things with. And then you also have some transformation tools, which lets you flip things horizontally. So the arrangement tools are these ones that are gray and red, and your transformation tools are these ones in blue. And as we briefly mentioned before, that right below the toolbars are this context toolbar right here, which changes based upon which tool we have selected. So right now we have the move, so this is our toolbar. If we switch to the text frame one, we get our fonts and the text size, all of that different thing are different layout positions. The last thing I want to go over in this tour of the user interface are the studios. Now the studios are the panels that appear both on the left side of your screen and the right side of the screen. So your pages, your assets, your stock, color, swatches, strokes, these are all studio panels. The first I want to talk about is our master pages. Our master pages are over here, and a master page is simply a layout page. Master pages let you create reusable layouts that you can apply to regular pages. Your pages panel show you the different pages. So as we have our first page, that was where we started, and then we have our second page down below. And they appear in the order in which they appear. The next one we want to talk about is our color. The Color Studio allows you to adjust the particular color you're working with, and you can change the different color modes and things like that. Then we have our swatches. This is where you can save those custom colors and pick different colors, access different colors, different color palettes, all sorts of things. Stroke is what you use to control the width of your lines that you create, or if you want to add like an outside border to an object, this is how we do that. Our layers panel This shows you all of the different objects, text boxes, and where they are positioned in the documents. Think of layers, like each layer is a piece of glass, and those pieces of glass are stacked upon each other. So when they're held up, that's how you see them. So you might have an object above or below something. If you want, let's say, some text to appear on a circle, you want to make sure that the text is above that circle. So the circle panel needs to be below what you would see. So it would be further down in the stack. The Glyphs Browser is where you access special characters, which is found under Window. Let's see here, under all of our various studios right here. We want to go to Text, and we want to click Glyph Browser. And our Glyph Browser is simply gives where you find all the special characters that you can't type as easily, like your bullet points and things like that. So you can search for what you need here. There's also special characters for foreign languages that you don't necessarily use with an English keyboard. That concludes the tour of the Workspace. Next video, we will cover how to actually build our document, beginning with our master pages, the benefits of that, and just how to set it up for a really great template for you to use going forward.